how on earth am I supposed to do this? And this thought stopped me dead in my tracks. I'm building a campaign from top down, but it's not for me. It's for everyone else around me, for the people who've given me so much in my life. With Christmas happening this week and my family pining for my attention, I found myself truly slipping, and it left me lost. I don't think I really even gave myself a moment to start to think about the book, let alone actually getting writing. Normally, when I build a campaign, my approach is to start with picking a theme and then a world off of that, and then I kind of decide like where I want the gods to be, and I kind of build where it feels natural from there, but that's not gonna work for me this time. Like, for example, for my last campaign, I knew that I wanted Bahamut and Tiamat to be very, very important, and I wanted it to be in a dragon-themed world. So, with a gods and a dragon-themed world, I kind of built from there. I started with the world lore, and then I built into all the other aspects, but that's not really going to work for what I want to do this time because it has so many different aspects to it. Out of pure desperation, I tried pulling my YouTube community, but with no success. I mean, what did I expect? The masses to give me the answers? I didn't even give my own suggestions an ounce of thought. After that, I decided today was the day. Of all other days, I decided I was going to do it with a pre-made campaign. Nothing else in my life. I was going to start taking my own advice. I mean, I've been running DMI, and with that, I've kind of told a lot of people where I think it's important to look to start building world lore and story lore. And I never even had thought about taking my own advice to this point in building this pre-made campaign. Now, I will say it's a little different than what I actually would have a beginner do because of the fact that I'm making it into a book, and there's different aspects that you kind of have to incorporate when you're making a D&D book. Like, I feel it's necessary that every D&D book has DM notes and has all of these custom things written for people who are planning on running the game that you don't need to do when you do your own homebrew. So that I think that's where it's going to get a little bit trickier down the line, but I really think that I'll have a lot more success if I actually sit down and I start with what I would tell people to do on DMI and what I thought was going to be useful and what my friends had said. My first step was to make a bare bones outline of my book, no more than 1 to 2 headings stating the flow of the modules I wanted to have. For example, having a dungeon section and a mystery portion. But here came the hard part. Actually taking your own advice is something that at least I know I struggle with quite a bit, and this was no different. So I ended up having to sit down and dig through DMI and really kind of get a feel for what I thought was going to be successful and how I thought that other people should do it and how I should do it. And that kind of led me to this weird space. I ended up just gritting my teeth and going for it, really just doing it from the beginning. And then I really got into it. I asked myself a few simple questions. How involved did I want the gods to be? How much world history does the setting have? How many political conflicts are there? And what will be my most important settings? And from this, I was off to the races. It was so much better than before, and it was going so much faster. And really, I had my theme, and now all I really had to do was make it my own, which made it a lot more fun. It made it easier to do. And now I had all of my prologues written on a page, so I could start preparing for the most time-consuming part, building the world lore, which is a daunting task. But that's where I am now. At the end of the second week of me working on this book, I have all of my kind of prologues and all of my themes worked out, and now I'm ready for the next story in this adventure where I go through and kind of build the world lore. Next week's going to start the really much more time-consuming process of actually sitting down and building the world lore, and the week after that, even more so. So that's kind of our story for next time. Now, next week, I can really hop into building the world lore, which is going to be really the fun part, I really think. And the week after that, I can start building kind of those world maps and really building into how I want this world to be and getting into those creative aspects. But that's kind of a story for another day. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, if you consider checking out the rest of my channel, I make D&D content like this all the time. And we'll resume with this story in 2 weeks. I hope you have an inspiring rest of your day.